All right, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be putting a nest box in with our doe. She's about to have some kits. If I say kidding or kindle or whatever, I'm not very good with the terminology. We're thinking about goats. So if you hear kidding, I know that's for goats, and kits are for rabbits. So if I mix those up, I mean, they sound very similar. Just let's roll with it, okay? But like I said, she's supposed to have her kits in about 3 to 4 days. And that's when you want to put your nest box in, is the 3 to 4 day range. So if you watched our video before, we'll put it like an iCard up here on, the video is how to breed rabbits. And when you breed them, 31 days from that day when they're bred, that's when you know when they're going to have kits. They don't always have them exactly 31 days. Most of the time they do, but they can have them a day before or maybe 1 to 2 days after. If you're getting past that, they're probably not pregnant. And there's other signs that you can see. We may be able to see it right now. We don't know. But there's another sign that's 9.9 times out of 10 they are pregnant if they do this. So right now what we're going to do is I'm taking out her little piece of wood that she stands on, and we're gonna put this nest box that I made, and I'll show you this a little bit more detail. But all you do, like you saw before, just grab some straw, just shove a handful in there, and just give it a good amount. You don't have to do anything with it. She's gonna be making the nest for her kits. So what we do is just stick them in here like that. And then another thing that we like to do is just get a little bit of an extra straw. You could use hay if you want to, not a big deal. Just put a little extra in here. For her to kind of, usually what they'll do, I don't know if she'll do it right now, but when they start getting a lot closer to their when they start to possibly kit, I think she may be doing it, I'm not sure. But what they'll do, we'll see if she does it, that loose stuff, she'll grab it and she'll start fleering her head back, and it almost looks like she's eating it, and she'll have a big old mouthful, and she just keeps doing it until she gets it, and then she'll go into that nest box and she'll start burrowing out and making a little area for her to have her kits. If you see them do that, I mean, it's on. They're gonna have some kits. If they're putting that stuff, if they're putting the hay in their mouth and they're building it up, that means they're getting their nest ready to have kits. If they don't do that, they may not do it right now. It is 3 days before, but if you start seeing them making a nest, that means that they're probably pregnant. And another thing, usually a day before, maybe 2 days, most likely probably a day before, they start pulling hair. You'll see they'll start incorporating their fur inside of their nesting. That's to build the heat for them. When you see that, they are going to be kidding very soon.
So just real quick, I wanted to show you guys another telltale sign that your doe is just about ready to have her kits. She is right now pulling her fur, and that is in preparation to put in the nest box. But if you see this happening right here, they are just hours away from having their kits, most likely.
Alright, so like I told you, I make my own nest boxes, and this is kind of how we made them. I just kind of took normal designs. I got just the dimensions, and I just cut the, pretty much, I think it's, I don't know, 1/4 inch plywood or something like that. But on the bottom we put, and this is a lot of controversy, I guess you could say, in the rabbit world, of do you want an open bottom, do you want a solid, do you want holes in it, do you want cardboard? And really, it just kind of all depends on what you want to do, what you feel is proper for your farm. I like the kind of this wire mesh. It holds a lot better whenever they start to pee and sometimes poop. Mainly pee is what this is for. It can drain out. It has a place to drain out I feel like it's a little more sanitary than having like just a solid wood frame, because that pee will build up inside that wood. It's not necessarily bad, but this is what I like to do, and I feel like it kind of probably lasts a lot longer. The only thing that you do have to somewhat worry about when you have an open bottom, and it can have a little bit of a draft. And the one thing I just do is just try to add a little more of your bedding in there to kind of build up in between so they have more of a flooring. But as long as you're in an area where there's not a lot of wind and they're not going to get a whole lot of updraft, you should be fine. We haven't had really any issues of that being an issue of the bottom. We haven't like lost the whole entire litter just because of that. So we're going to show you exactly kind of what a nest looks like when they actually have the kits. We do have one doe here. These kits are about, I think, 5 days old. And so I'll just kind of show you what that looks like, and just some other, I guess you could have some problems that can come along with, breeding rabbits. So as you can see here, they have the straw and they have the hair pulled, and that's what keeps them warm. And I'll just very quickly, because it's kind of cold out here, I'll just kind of show you. I don't know if you can see them in there. A lot of different colors. And these ones are doing good. I'm just going to cover them back up. So this litter right here, she had 9 in the beginning. When we came out here, a lot of times the rabbits, at least for us, they always have them during like the night, so we can never really like check on them and stuff. And whenever we came out and was doing our chores, we saw, and this doesn't happen all the time, but it can. It just all depends on your mom, and you never know what happens. But we had 3 of them; they were dead. And it's always sad to see that. We never like to see animals die here, but this is kind of the rough thing of farming and homesteading, is that happens. And sometimes you never know why it happened. But with this, what can happen is it is cold out here. If they're in that little kind of, I always like to call it like a cocoon with the fur and everything in the back, they're usually always good. We've never had any issues with that. The issues that we sometimes have is if they get kind of they sometimes like to jump, or maybe when they're nursing, the mom kind of pulls them. They either go out of the box, or even if they're just to the front of the box, and if they're by themselves, or if they're spread out in the front and they're not with the group, they can die because of it, being cold. They don't have really any fur to keep them warm. And that's, I think, what happened here, is they just got kind of pushed out, or the mom may have dragged them out just a little bit, and it does not take long for them to die when it's kind of colder. So that's something that you got to think about whenever you're breeding them, and don't be discouraged about that, but it does happen. It doesn't happen all the time, but it can. But we just kind of wanted to let you know that that's kind of what can happen whenever you're having the kits. As long as they're in that little area, we normally don't ever have a problem with them dying or anything like that. We've never lost a whole entire litter. We don't know. We just haven't had that issue yet. But another thing I was going to kind of show you, I guess it's kind of like our little log. And if y'all are, maybe doing rabbits and you want to be organized and things like that, this is something we made, and we just stick them on the rabbits. And what it is just a tag that tells you when they're bred, when they're due, when they were born, and then we figure out when they're going to be weaned. And then this is cage 1. So anytime this rabbit here, if we want to, for whatever reason, move her to a different cage, this goes with her all the time. And whenever they're bred, we have buck 1, buck 2, so we know what buck is breeding which one. And then inside we have a folder that tells you we write all this down, how many they had, and how many died, things like that, colors. And we do that because we're trying to breed the best quality of rabbit. And so we want to know which rabbits are throwing the best colors, which ones are having the healthier babies, which ones are good moms, which ones are having the most litters, and we write that down so we know, hey, we want to keep one from this because this one's doing really good. And after a while, you breed good genetics. But you got to write all that stuff down. You are not going to remember it. I'm telling you, you're not. I'm horrible. If I didn't have this stuff, I would be all over the place. So make sure you write that stuff down if you're wanting to breed good genetics and have good rabbits and have those records. And it helps you out a lot when you're trying to do all this and you have it on this type of a scale or bigger. And even on a smaller scale, it still helps because you will forget. Like, what did that rabbit, how many did she have last time? You don't know. You didn't write it down. So always write stuff down when you're trying to, build your herd. So that's going to wrap up today's video. We're just kind of taking along with our, rabbit breeding. And if y'all like this video, put it down in the comments. If you have questions, we'll try to answer them to the best of our abilities. We are not experts at this, but we'll try to help you in any which way. If we've came across anything, if you have any questions, hit the subscribe button if y'all like our channel, and hit that like button if you like the video, and bell for notifications if you really want to see our videos when they first come out. But y'all take care and God bless. If you really want to see our videos when they first come out, but prior to when she's supposed to kid out. And nesting box in there 4 to 3 days before you're kidding. What? Like, why do I say that? I can't seem to get that thing. Kindle. Okay.